This is Chimes Media, and I'm James Williams. Okay, I wanted to talk to you about divisions within groups and people and organisations because in my earlier days, many decades ago now, I went to sea as my first career and or my main career, and travelled around the world. I think I went around the world 4 times, 3 times one way and one the other. And I would come back, and this is before internet days and stuff like that. I would come back to my community in Lincolnshire, in the eastern part of England, a very rural countryside, and there'd be all sorts of the latest fads. It'd be CB radio and all sorts of stuff going on, or some latest soap opera that people got excited about. But so I was getting sort of like snapshots of things and coming in as like an outsider, looking at things. I hadn't been sort of immersed in the latest fad, and I suppose in many ways that sort of created me as an independent thinker from that point of view, because I've always seemed to have come into organisations. I've been a member of all sorts of political organisations and lobby groups and whatever it may be in the past. Signed up to them, paid my fee, if you like. But these days, I'm not a member of anything really. I'm associated, but not a member of anything. and there's a reason for that, and that is because I've seen so many times. You get an organisation, you get a group together, whatever it may be, and within a period of time they sort of factionalise. I remember. I can't remember the name of the organisation I was involved with. It was to do with the men's rights movement. It was trying to, it's wrong to say that men's rights are about denigration of women. It is not. There are many men with a lot of very serious problems, and at the time they were not being addressed properly. So we had a movement together. It was part of like the Fathers for Justice type association and that kind of stuff, but it was localised, and we're trying to get together speakers and things like that to try and promote better conditions for men and boys, of course, and of course ultimately women as well, because if men are not happy, then how can women be happy? It's like that. But that's not the point. So I'd spend lots and lots of time, money, effort campaigning, organising, visiting politicians, and not screaming at them like they do today, going there to talk about things, to try and raise awareness and issues, and try to change things for the better. And you like, I remember I came back and what was it? I'd been to see the rising Penny Mordaunt. She wasn't an MP at the time, but she put up on a show at the Mountbatten Centre in Portsmouth, and it was basically various groups came in to talk about their various grievances, and she's a good listener. And anyway, I spoke with her. I'd even spoken to the to MPs and other people about the issue, and I came back and it had been a full day, and I thought, well, that was a good day. It was successful. We actually made progress there, and then found out the Fathers for Justice and its associations had fallen apart, and you think, oh, for God's sake, what's going on? And it was down to factionalisation. It's down to individuals, getting bigger than their boots, and they were sort of like overshadowing the purpose of the organisation, and I kind of felt disillusioned with that, because and it's not the only time that sort of happened. And I've seen this so many other times as well before. Even in political parties, you get all these factions come up. Now, that of late, I'm talking about, like, we're now into 2019, but of late we've seen red pill movements come forward to it's like a awakening of what is really going on in the world, who's controlling us, why are we having wars, and why are we having all these social change and population changes. And various groups have come up and protested, and there's Brexit, and it's suddenly taken off in the last year or so. And so I associate with different organisations, and then you find out, like, well, look at UKIP, for example. There's Gerard Batten, and he's taken on Sargon of Akkad, and Paul Joseph Watson. They're two great YouTubers. There's a few others as well. And he's trying to turn the political party around. Now, I'm not associated with Gerard Batten. I've met him once. He tried to persuade me to join the UKIP, which I didn't, for the reason I've explained. It's not that I don't sympathise with him, that's how it is. So then I find out that everyone's like, okay, Nigel Farage has condemned Gerard Batten as being a racist, and because he's taken on Tommy Robinson, who's a racist, and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, well, of what I've seen, looking at it as an outsider looking in, I don't think, and I've read his stuff as well, I don't see like Tommy Robinson as a racist. I don't see him as that. I don't know him intimately, but from what I've seen, he's not. I think the authorities are frightened to death of him. But the consequence of this is, the further down the line, you get associated groups that are concerned about population change, or they're concerned about Brexit, whatever they're concerned about, and they seem to have gone into this factionalisation mode. There seems to be this sort of these personal rifts that have opened up, and I haven't got a clue why. And if you try to ask somebody about it, unless you're talking to a friend or something, the chances are they'll get all shirty and say, "Oh, are you supporting these?" Or, "No, I'm not. I'm just trying to find out what the bloody hell's going on, because I don't know." Like a lot of people don't know. They're not in. Most people are not involved in these things. They're like me. They're looking in from the outside. So when you see factions forming, it just frustrates me, because they create enemies with people they don't agree with entirely, and it's almost, I don't know, maybe there's some MI5 operative that gets in these organisations and disrupts them and sows the seed of dissent between people. I don't know, but it's kind of frustrating when you've got our UK, the Western civilization, under serious threat of being transformed and changed forever, not necessarily for the good. And we're facing all kinds of economic challenges in the future, and you see this sort of factionalisation of groups that should be, if they're not totally 100% following each other, they're associated, they're sort of allies within the cause. Okay, Group B and Group A may have differences over, fine tuning of stuff, but their basic general movement is towards a particular end. And this is, I think, where the left in politics, they have their own terrible factions. They go to war with each other, but the general movement there on the left is towards a certain, like, globalism, or they have a projection they're trying to get to. And you see on the sort of opposition, which is called the right, and I don't like calling that because it's basically ordinary people who just have had enough. They seem to fall out over nothing. I just find it very, very frustrating. That's all I wanted to say for now, and see what you think about it. Are you fed up with factionalisation? Do you think it's unnecessary? Because I think it's unnecessary warring. What a waste of energy. You go off and do a campaign. Trying to do some campaign. I mean, like at the Brexit 2016, I went to 10,000 households in Portsmouth myself. That's a lot of bloody time spent. I lost a lot of weight doing it as well. And then you find that the further up the food chain, the people are falling out with each other. You think, is there any hope for us? Really, is there any hope? Are we going to be? Are we destined to go through the same follies of history that have been repeated and have caused so much misery in the past? I just can't. Well, anyway, that's all I want to say for now. Anyway.